Everybody, we are back. It is Taped on Live's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Bam. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at Glen Rockney for Glenn, and of course, pandasubs.com discount code TDL for 25% off. All right. So we are back with another episode of Friday Night Live. We're going to be talking, of course, some stuff from OTAs first. Get you guys' questions. I got the voicemails ready. Baby Suge left us another 3-minute voicemail.
Oh.
So we're going to say that for last. I'm going to say that for last because it's long. It's a long voicemail. It's like 3 minutes.
Does he not show up in the chats anymore? Now that he has a voicemail, he's like, well, I don't have to watch this anymore.
Yeah, he's not the chats at all, man. I
I'll
see him in the chats.
He leaves like 8 super chats in one voicemail and saves money.
Yeah, seriously, man. Long ass voicemail. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing that today, and then we're gonna be doing 2016 Raiders versus 2025 Raiders.
Yeah.
Which was very interesting when I was putting that together. It was I was like, how the hell did that team win 12 games? That's what I was thinking when I was putting it together. It didn't make any damn sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it is what it is. But that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing today, guys. So how you feeling, Glenn? How you feeling, man?
It was good. I mean, is it not hypothetical season right now? I feel like that's even any film work you guys do is still like hypothetical at this point, like because there's just nothing happening, and we're making predictions based off of camp reports. I got mini camp next week, and right now we're all just kind of like, can they do this? If they do that, if so and so has a good season, if they break out, it's fun, but I'm ready, man. I'm ready for some football again, man. With dire times, the NBA finals are fun, but man,
yeah,
after this, it's nothing.
Nothing. I mean, the Orioles suck.
Yeah. So. Are you kidding me? I'm an A's fan. I've lost like 20 of their last 22. They're terrible. Yeah. I mean, we're not Rockies fans, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, exactly. If I had comparable baseball to watch, that would be great. I'm surprised about your Orioles, by the way. I didn't see that coming at all. That was crazy.
But they let Burns go.
Yeah, they fired their coach. Man, if you get fired in the first month of baseball, like you suck.
Yeah,
like that doesn't happen. That's a football firing.
Yeah, it's like there's literally like 100 games left.
Yeah, they're like, we have zero faith that you will turn this around.
Like, there's no way. You got to get out of here. That's crazy, man. That is wild if you think about it. All right, shout out to Short's wide receiver. His son turned 1 today. So shout out.
Very nice. Very nice.
I know that birthday party was wild. That's gonna be the biggest birthday party. You have a kid that's 1 year old. It's the biggest one, and the kid doesn't even remember it, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
About the 1-year-old birthday party.
And then everyone shows up with like the Costco size liquor bottles and stuff. Yeah.
It is the most lit party because the kid has no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
It's really it's like a big parent celebration. The first birthday is literally a parent celebration. Like, yes, we got to the first year. Yeah. Let's celebrate. And the kids asleep.
Don't buy them anything annoying, please. That's
exactly.
the only rule. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick said the O's are hot right now. Maybe I can get back into it.
I mean, they dug themselves a little bit of a hole, but yeah, hey, anything right now. Like I said, we're in like that dead part of sports after the NBA finals. If your baseball team's not any good.
Yeah. So he said my wife is Mexican, so the party was lit. Yeah, I know the whole
family
was there.
Yeah. So, and his first communion is going to be great too. I mean, all the parties are going to be crazy.
All right. Yeah. So, what are we talking about today? So we're talking about I got JPJ versus Cam Hayward, which I thought was interesting. I don't know. I had to dig for some Raiders news for that one. I guess.
Yeah.
I missed that. Did you see about that?
I saw the interview you had on the Rush Pod where he's like, "Yeah, I got like basically funk with Cam Hayward," which JPJ is crazy to just be going at one of the most loved players in the league. Like Cam Hayward is one of those guys that like, doesn't he win like Walter Payton Man of the Year like every other years or whatever? And everybody talks about like what a marvel is, and JPJ is like, I hate that guy with a passion.
Yeah.
Which that's what we want. It's funny, man. Like it's typically that's something you with a microphone in your face. A lot of people are just like, it's the gridiron, we battle. It's war out there, but he's a good guy. I'm sure he's just like, nah, man, go give me that. I want to run it back. So I don't think they're on the schedule this year, right?
Yeah. No, they're
Steelers
not.
are?
They're not.
No,
They're
I
not.
don't think so. Yeah. So hopefully a playoff game.
Yeah. Yes. I totally forgot. That's stuff we should talk about. We'll talk about the Tonto Lisco interview. I totally forgot about that.
We will talk. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I watched out of it was the Penix versus Knicks kind of thing that he was talking about.
Yeah, he explained taking Brock Bowers too.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're also doing Ashton Genty versus top 5, other top 5 picks. So we talk about that today as well. Yeah, I mean, because it's a slow season, guys. I mean, we got mini camp next week.
Right. What's the difference? Dumb question. What's the difference between what happened last week and minicamp?
It's like more of a live practice, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what the difference is? Media gets to watch full time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you see probably less. They probably do less then, wouldn't you think? Like the media's watching. I don't want to show them anything.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the media gets more of an idea of the team. I mean, it's really for us. I mean, because that's when they let the media in, but it's mandatory for the players. So usually it's like the first time you get to see the team, I guess,
right
before a training camp. So everybody shows up. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how it is with that. But like, no, there's really not. It's the same practice. They don't have pads on. We don't know if the linemen are good. We don't know if the D-line are winning. We don't know really how the running backs are playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's really just we're watching, is Geno Smith throwing picks, throwing touchdowns? That's really all you get out of it right now. So it's the most overrated thing. As I saw some like Vikings fans like JJ McCarthy made the greatest
I think
OTA
that's a troll.
throw.
I think that's a troll. Like, and not a troll, but like the dude's like messing with people because he's like he made a top 20 OTA throw of all time. I thought that was pretty funny because like it was like, how would you have your top 20 OTA throws ranked? Like probably not, you know. But I think that guy, he does that stuff to like go viral. I've seen him before. It's they're like JJ McCarthy like makes a throw Patrick Mahomes could never make, and it's just like him warming up in practice. It's really funny.
Yeah. He said it was pre-gaming for the stream, just a little bit, man. Just relax, bro. Relax, Anthony. All right. Yeah. So all right. So let's get to some of these topics, man. I got a couple questions. Maybe we'll do a voicemail real quick here. So, who is your surprise candidate to get cut this offseason?
That's a good question. Surprise cut. Like just absolutely. I'm trying to think who would be a surprise. You could say somebody like Trey Taylor, but that wouldn't really be that much of a surprise to me. Gosh, I would say. Gosh, I don't know. I'll tell you one that would like truly surprise me is Jacorian Bennett.
Wow, that would be wow.
But think about it.
That would be crazy. I don't know.
I mean, you're surprised by me saying that.
Yeah, exactly. That is literally the definition of what we're talking about right now. So you're right. You're right about that, Glenn. For me, who would it be? See, I was going to Zamir White, but I don't know. Is that a surprise?
It's not a surprise. I don't. Is he on your final roster right now? Probably not. Like yours that you would make. I
have him on the 2016 comparison because I don't know. Is Sincere McCormick out there yet?
I don't know.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't do it. So I'm like looking. Somebody said Mumford in the chat.
That would be marginally surprising. Marginally. I mean, you figure they drafted a guy there that's playing tackle, and then it would be maybe Wagner that would be the guy that would make the team over Mumford. Probably. Would you say? Like that would be how that would happen? Yeah. It would be marginally surprising, I think.
I'm trying to look at the roster.
Parham. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, but I think you trade Parham. You have to trade him because I think you can get something for him. I mean, if you can't trade him, I guess I could see that maybe. But I would rather some team that liked him coming out of the draft, you could convince them to come get him. Because taking a guard at 3rd round is kind of like where the high-level guards kind of go. So I think you can get some, like at least like a 7th or 6th for him. Something like that. You know what I mean? That's what I would do with him. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, there's nobody else really that would. I mean, like Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, that's one.
That would be because you think about that. Like right now, we can pencil him in as the backup. I think there's no reason to say otherwise. But if Cam Miller looks really good, in
Um,
preseason, and then you have Carter Bradley you like as your third guy, and you're just like, well, again, you would try to trade Aiden O'Connell. You would try just to see if somebody would give you a 6th-round pick for him or something, but you might not.
I was thinking maybe like I don't know if it's a surprise, but like Darnay Holmes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be very surprised. I mean, again, they don't really have much at that position, but it still wouldn't shock me.
Wouldn't shock you, but that would be like something like a surprise a little bit, because
Mm.
everybody think they were cut. I'm just looking at the roster. I'm like, I wouldn't be expecting them to not cut any of these guys, because I was thinking maybe you're like Raheem Mostert too. Like,
yeah, I don't see that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right though. It would be surprising. But yeah, I mean, because that would mean Zamir White tore it up at camp, and somebody else. Like you would have to have 2 guys like balling out at camp, and then Mostert like, just not looking a step slow, or something.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't have his speed, you don't really want Mostert. That's kind of, you have to have his speed.
Exactly. After watching your review, would it make more sense for Kappa at center? No, I don't. Man, I get what you're saying, but he's never played center. I don't think he's a good guard. I just think he's super intelligent, which was frustrating for me to watch on film. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's interesting. I watched your guys' I watched your guys' breakdown on Kappa, and I still think they're gonna need somebody smart like that on the line. Even if they're getting beat from time to time. Though I do like his athleticism, and like I'm saying, he did deal with an injury last year. Yeah. And so and I know he's always had that high pad level, but let's say the injury's tougher to bend down, maybe just a little tougher to be loose with it or something. Let's say that injury's healed. I think he could be like a okay player and a good leader on the offensive line. Because again, if you have Colton Miller and then the rest of it is 1 and 2 guys really, like, and then maybe Jordan Meredith, who hasn't started that much. I mean, there's a lot of youth on that offensive line.
Yeah, and that's why he's gonna start. I've come to terms with that after watching it. And like I said, when you play the Chiefs and those type of teams, and you got a guy like that, it's gonna help the quarterback. It is. He's just gonna get beat sometimes, and it's gonna be some games just gonna be frustrating to watch. Yeah. I've come to terms with that. Like, some games it's just not gonna work, and you might be right. I mean, there's something to him being injured. Like, I try to figure it out. I don't know if he was just like banged up. Is that what it was?
I think it was the last 2 years he's dealt with something. Like, it just seems like he was I mean, I don't know if it was anything catastrophic, but it was like like we said, playing through injury isn't always good. You put out bad film, like it's maybe that's the case that it happened. Because I mean, his first couple of years with Tampa were good. He was a good player. There's a good solid starter on the team. So yeah, it'll be. I'm thinking about some of the defensive tackles they're playing this year, though. You're gonna play Dexter Lawrence this year. They're gonna play some dogs at that position. It's Chris Jones, obviously, but his best games are against the Chiefs. So yeah. There's that. But yeah, it's definitely a cause for concern. But I am not as fearful if he's on the starting lineup. I'm not that fearful, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that with how he played against the Chiefs is a big factor with how they brought him in. Because why he plays well against the Chiefs is because how smart he is, and he can see all the blitzes where they're coming from. That's why he plays well against the Chiefs. They're saying Caleb Rogers might take first team reps.
Two things about that. One, we just talked about how you really can't judge offensive linemen in these camps because they're not, the contact's just not there. And second, I would say that kind of goes against what my actual fear would be. Even if Caleb Rogers earns the job, I would look at the construct of the offensive line. You'd have Colton Miller, veteran, we know what he is. But then you'd have Caleb Rogers, year 1, Jackson Powers Johnson, year 2, first year at center, really. First year starting at center with a new quarterback. I don't know what they're doing at the other guard position, but that's not going to be a huge veteran, right? If you're saying it's not Kappa, let's just say it's not Kappa. And then you have DJ Glaze, year 2. That's that with a veteran quarterback. And when they're trying to win right now, you really can't, even if that's your most talented lineup, I think there's times that lineup gets beat bad just off of inexperience that can wreck a game.
Yeah, and especially it's in the interior. And Gino doesn't like to run. He doesn't like to run. So
right.
He can run. He just doesn't like to. So, yeah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So I mean, if Rodgers goes out there and he balls and he ends up playing well, it's just he's gonna have some growing pains because he's more natural tackle. So he's still learning a new position, in my opinion, just that he could become more natural at it. But it would be tough. It would be tough for him to be good right away. Like I literally would feel better at with him playing tackle in the NFL, but his arms are too short, so that ain't gonna work.
And people are saying like they're okay with the inexperienced offensive line. I'm like, you say that in June when you watch an inexperienced offensive line get their ass absolutely handed to them by a team like the Raiders should be. That's how you lose to bad teams, by the way, is when like a bad team with a good defensive line beats them. I'm not saying Kappa's going to be a Hall of Famer or anything. I just think you want the intellect and leadership there. Guy who's played in a Super Bowl, guy who's done that. Like that stuff matters. Like people pretend it doesn't just because they look, they look at grades, they look at this and that. I got to see it in preseason games. If Caleb Rogers is out there just mauling people, then yeah, I guess you can't keep him on the bench. But if it's even a tie, you give it tie goes to the veteran.
Yeah, in my opinion, yeah, it would go to Alex Kappa. I just think he's gonna play because, like I was pointing out in the film, it's just he was the captain of the Bengals offensive line.
Right.
The Raiders don't have that type of guy. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's get to a voicemail here. Let's check a voicemail.
Formerly D Ochoa 831. This is David Ochoa on YouTube. Formerly D Ochoa 831 on Twitter, and the Ocho on Blue Sky. This message is not for TDL, but it's more to you. I left a message on Blue Sky. I just wanted to know if you have any interest into it. It's regarding like positional tiers between the AFC West teams. I just want to let you know if you want to check it out. I figured it would be a good episode. It's between you and Glen. It'll be pretty nice, informational, good breakdown to see where the team's at. I think a lot of people are a little bit too high on this team. I think it kind of needs to be brought down. Because I agree. I think we have a 4 or 7 and a ceiling of 10 wins. So yeah, man. Just let me know what you think. Later.
All right.
Well, I agree with what he said about the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think I think their floor. To be honest, I think when you talk about floors, guys get hurt. So if Geno gets hurt, they're a 4-win team, honestly. Like straight up. And if he gets hurt, then you kind of want to win 4 games. If it's that bad, you're like, okay, now we want to be in a position to draft somebody high or something. But yes, if everybody's healthy and I think everything, the main positions stay healthy, I think their floor is 7 wins. Ceiling's about 10. You never know, right? We'll talk about a 2016 team that like had no business winning 12 games. These things happen. It's why NFL's fun. But I agree. Shout out to the 831 area code. Shout out to that too. I don't know where he's from, Salinas, Monterey or whatever, but that's Santa Cruz. Whatever. Love that part of California. But I think they're about a year off. I think they're a year off. I think they knew they were a year off. That kind of shows the free agency aspect of it. But I think they did a lot of things to make them really exciting. To where I think we can trust the process a little bit and win some games,
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm with you on that. Like it's good. It all depends on how the ball bounces this year. I think with this team.
Yeah,
it is. It's gonna be a ball bounce season. The ball, like sometimes if Geno fumbles and we recover it, or do they pick it up? Just like it's gonna be one of those things. Like like. That's how close things are. But like when I compare it to the 2016, when we get there, we get to that point. It kind of is that same thing. Like if Geno is clutch, and they can run the football, because I didn't even put O-line on there because I thought that's not even fair. I didn't like we're really gonna do that. It's like one of the best offensive lines, like the best like in the last since like 2010 that year, right? There's really no comparison. So if the offensive line plays like that, I mean, you could have a season like that. You know what I mean? So there's just outside factors to this team, and they're just not good on paper, but they got better coaching, and they have a quarterback, and I believe they're gonna be good on offense. It's just how good. What is the defense gonna do? That's what I'm still worried about this defense. That's kind of my issue. You know what I mean? With anything else, it's like, how is this defense gonna stick up? Or just keep with it. So
Well, yeah, and you said something about the way the ball bounces. I mean, that's so weird. It's so dumb to like, when nobody wants to say it when you're talking about a long form NFL podcast, all of these, tangible objects. But sometimes like I feel like the Raiders, there's these 50-50 balls that float in the air that the Raiders are like 10% to 90% the other way every time.
Yeah.
Like they're 90-10 to the other team's favor, whether it's one bad throw by the quarterback tipped up in the air and it's just out of reach, or the guy catches it like last year. I think I forget who it was against the Chiefs or 2 years ago when the Raiders beat the Chiefs. I just remember I think it was Merrick like had a questionable interception. It's overturned. And I'm like, we're gonna lose the game because of that. That's most fan bases don't think that way. But that just seems to be the thing that affects the Raiders. And I don't know how you fix that. Culture is definitely the way. Making guys play confident maybe manifesting that ball, Angels in the outfielding up into the air for a little bit longer. It sounds silly, but they need some of that. They had that in 2016 a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. They had some of those bounces that just bounced their way. I mean, even on the 2021 run, and you got to think about how some of the things went their way, like when the Browns went 3 and out. It's small things like that, right? And that's how you win these games sometimes when you're not the best team in the world and you want to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have the ball bounce your way,
because,
like because there's a couple things. Like I feel like there's a couple plays last year that would have saved AP's job in itself. Like when they're playing the Broncos and Thomas Harper dropped that pick 6. If he catches that ball, it takes a pick 6, totally different game. You know what I mean? Like,
and not throwing the pick 6. Like that was just a weird thing. Like, like not throwing that. These games that they lose by a lot of points, you're like, it's still a couple plays. That's and again, the good coaching. Hopefully, even if those plays don't go their way, you limit the damage control. You don't spiral. All these things. But yeah, sometimes I watch certain teams play after a bad Raiders game. I'll watch the Sunday night game between two good teams, and I'll see this ball tip perfectly into a linebacker's numbers, and I'm just like, why? What is the skill behind that?
Yeah,
maybe there's an awareness thing, but like, no, it's just sometimes the ball just bounces the right way. I know it sounds like you're coping and stuff, but really, we've all seen it, and they need some of that this year if they're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah, plus the like the Ravens, like Lamar. Every time Lamar Jackson fumbles, they pick it up.
Yeah,
it's the craziest shit.
It's nuts. I mean, the Chiefs have that too. It's just there's this luck. I mean, like it's luck, but these are good teams that prepare themselves well, and I think you set yourself in a position to be doing that. But it's luck. I mean, and look, the Ravens have a great year last year, and then they have, I won't say it's unlucky, but Mark Andrews drops a perfect 2-point conversion, right? So eventually you got to pay the credit card bill at some point. But for the Raiders to have like an 11-12 win season, that stuff has to happen. That 2016 season was all that, man. That's like what happened. Every game, it seemed like it was electric.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I agree. All right. Who do you think has a better season, Ashton Jeanty or Josh Jacobs?
I hope it's Jeanty. It's tough to predict a guy who hasn't played a snap of NFL football, but the way he was running routes in camp and the way they were using him, I think they're going to be. I think in the pass game, he has a chance to really do some damage, as opposed to if you're comparing his numbers to Josh Jacobs. Like, I know they throw the ball to Jacobs too, but I mean, if they can run Ashton Jeanty on some like wheel routes and stuff, like, hey, that's how you have a huge season. If he wants that 2,000 all purpose, like he says he wants, that's how you do it.
That's tough for me too. I mean, I think Genty's gonna have a lot of production because he's just gonna have the ball so much. Yeah. He just has the ball so much. So it all depends because I mean, Josh Jacobs got the ball a lot last year. Are the Packers gonna pass more this year? I'm sure. I mean, because last year what happened is why Jacobs started going off is because they didn't have a choice because it was we have to hide Jordan Love. We have to protect Jordan Love from himself. So. They had no choice last year.
Receivers were really injured too. That Packers team always had injuries at receiver, it seemed. And Dobbs was having a weird beginning of the year too, even though he kind of snapped back to it at the end of the year. But it was just kind of, it's a lot of its usage rate. I mean, like if Genty's going off, what do Bauer's numbers look like? I mean, at the end of the day, we just want to win. But so I don't care about Ashton Jeanty's stats his rookie year. If they're winning games and he's putting the ball in the end zone, whether it's 2 yards out, whether it's 30 yards out, that I don't care.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's talk about Tom Telesco because I don't want to talk about this JPJ shit. Tom Telesco went on the PFF podcast. They asked him questions about his process, and we all know that we had a PFF draft the year before, and he really showed it because he's on the podcast right afterwards. So he's a big PFF guy, right?
Yeah.
And he talked about how they weren't going to take Michael Penix. They were going to take, if they were going to take a quarterback at 13, they're going to take Bo Nix out of Oregon. So that could have been our quarterback if Sean Payton wasn't so obsessed with short passes. Like I say, if Sean Payton liked long passes, he wouldn't be there at 12. So, I mean, they probably still take Brock Bowers. Let's keep it real.
Over Bo Nix, you think they do?
Yes.
I think there's a conversation to be had. I think there's a debate. I don't think it's unanimous in the room. I'm, for the record, I am happy that they took Brock Bowers over Bo Nix. I said it at the time too. After Jaden Daniels, I didn't want to take, even if Penix and them were on the board, I wanted to go elsewhere at that position or at that pick. So you can go back and find that. I'm not just saying it now retroactively. But I get a GM for wanting to go, damn, I can get this quarterback that I like, who did have a good rookie season, and all of that. And I think he's going to run into his ceiling a lot faster than a lot of quarterbacks are going to. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's a Bowers is the right pick, right? Like because people will talk about positional value, whereas even if they think Bo Nix is not as good at quarterback as Brock Bowers is at the tight end position, they say it doesn't matter. You take the quarterback because a solid to very good quarterback is better than an elite tight end, which I kind of disagree. Because Brock Bowers will make quarterbacks look good for a long time. And if Bo Nix had Brock Bowers, which that doesn't seem like that ever could have been a circumstance.
No, it
it never could happen. But you want to. What my argument for Brock Bowers was, whoever the next quarterback that comes in has Brock Bowers, and it's not his rookie season, which that didn't seem to matter. His rookie year, he was great, but he's into the league and he's balling out, and you have this basically cheat code at tight end, and that's how you build a team.
Yeah, I agree with that because that's my thing. Because if he's going best player available and Brock Bowers falls to him and he took him over maybe a tackle or whatever corner wherever they could have went that day, I believe since he took Brock Bowers, they would have took Brock Bowers anyways. And this is the way he talked about Brock Bowers a little bit on that podcast. He was really just excited that he fell to him, and it would surprise him. So yeah, I still think they do that. But what I thought was interesting about his comments, I'm like, damn, you wouldn't have traded for Drake May?
Yeah, he said it was Daniels, and that's it. Which that's probably the right move. I mean, he's quarterback. Yeah. I had him over Williams. I had Daniels as QB1. I just said, if you're gonna risk it all, go get Jaden Daniels. But that wasn't on the table. That just wasn't on the table. Now, if Raiders never fire Josh McDaniels, not never, but I mean, wait till the end of the year to fire Josh McDaniels, they might take him, which is an interesting thing, right? I mean, it's easy to hindsight prophecy, it's 2020, but that was an ugly ass season that they needed to get out of. Yeah. But that was the only quarterback I felt, and I like Drake May, and I'd feel good if he was the quarterback of the Raiders right now, but this team would look so different if they had Drake May and not Brock Bowers. I don't know how good I'd feel about them this year at all. Like, I don't think they'd be good at all this year, probably.
I don't.
and I like him. I think he's a good player. I just you don't have the reason the Raiders are. I got excited about the Geno Smith thing. Is like, okay, he's got Brock Bowers. He's gonna have Genty now. Like this is nice. I like what's there for a quarterback like Geno Smith.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. He wouldn't need to take Drake May, man. I mean, Drake May looked pretty. I mean, I haven't watched this film yet. I actually have watched film on Daniels and Williams, and it's definitely a drastic difference between them. Yeah. I mean, Williams just looks like a rookie. Daniels did not.
Daniels is a quarterback. You just watch him. It's a quarterback. It's moxie. Like you could just see it, man. He developed it in college. He got better every year in college. I don't think Caleb got better every year in college.
No, you could tell Caleb didn't watch film. when you're watching him on
and
when I watch him on
part of
film,
that,
I can tell he's not watching film. But go
and
ahead.
part of that's Lincoln Riley and following Lincoln Riley wherever he goes. And you see these guys that come out, like they have tough goes. They got to like learn quarterback. Like even Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, like Murray started kind of hot, but like let's say like Baker Mayfield, like these guys got to like become quarterbacks a little bit. Like it's weird, man. It's like Lincoln Riley's just party football. It just looks like party football out there.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Out there just having a damn good time playing football, running white cross over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Jade Daniels is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I was pretty in shock watching the film. Like, bro, like are you a rookie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he played 5 years of college, so that and just like Bo Nix, they look poised. Although I think Daniels looks way more poised than Bo Nix. I think he's way better at going through his reads than Bo Nix. Bo Nix is kind of a one read tuck and go guy at this point, like which is weird for playing 5 years of college. By the way, that's very strange for a guy who played 5 years of college to not be really going through reads and sitting in the pocket. Like he looks to get out of that pocket ASAP if that first read isn't there. So and Daniels will, I mean. He looks like you say he's been in the league 6 years.
Yeah. Well, Williams is going to be the nerds type of player. They just keep him alive because he makes highlight throws.
Right.
Because he does have some highlight throws.
TikTok quarterback. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%. Because there's just some reads he has. And I'm like, bro, what is taking you so long? Throw the damn ball.
Justin Fields is a TikTok quarterback. Like you just like, how is this is Justin Fields' year? Yeah. Because if you took the top 5 Justin Fields plays, the guy looks incredible.
Yeah, because
if you watch him down to down, if you watch him down to down, not the same.
In his film, he has 3 throws. You're like, damn.
Mm-hmm. Against the Seahawks, he had one against the Seahawks. I remember I was watching it live. Caleb Williams against the Seahawks. It got called back for something, but it was just a throw. I was like, yeah, I get that. I would draft him #1 overall after watching that play. But then it's like, woo, man, like when I'm asking you to make a regular quarterback play, it's just really tough. But that's what I'm saying is you don't just grab a quarterback. You don't just go up there and go, we're taking a quarterback no matter what. Teams don't think that way. Teams have their guys. Some years you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks that you like. Some years you have 1. And it seemed like the Raiders had 1, obviously with the AP connection to Jaden Daniels and Telesco obviously being super into him. That is the case, but they weren't there. And you watch Brock Bowers film and you're like, it's better than any of those quarterbacks film in college. You're just like, I'm sorry, man. Positional value be damned. This guy's really good.
Yeah. I mean, this is what play Caleb Williams like throws the ball into the stands on the screen. I was like, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work with Ben Johnson. I don't know.
No, because no. Yeah, it's a weird matchup. It's a weird marriage, I should say, of that. And Raiders get them in the first 4 weeks of the season. I think they can get them week 4, week 5 or something. They get Chicago, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get some pressure on him, they can win that game because he's just. I don't know. I want to see him play this year. See if he actually does get better because like there's those highlight throws, but I think he's going to be a mess for a while. Kyler Murray. You're right, Lincoln Riley. He's literally Kyler Murray on film as a rookie. Like they're like the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huge throws. Where if you don't watch a lot of Cardinals games, but you see a couple of highlights, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like their rookie years are very, very comparable.
And he's not that big either.
He's
Caleb Williams is not big. I think people thought he was a lot bigger than he was coming out, and he's like 6'1", I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let's get some more of these questions here. Why don't people like Parham? Because he didn't play well last year. That's why.
Didn't play well last year. He's a little undersized too.
Yeah. That's the big reason. Who do you guys think leads his team in receiving? Does Brock repeat or Jacoby have a breakout year due to everyone trying to take Brock away? That's a good question. What do you think?
Sorry. Say the question. Put the question up again. I wanted to read it. I just who do you think leads this team in receiving? Does Brock repeat? Yeah, I mean that's what I'm talking about with Genty. I said earlier, like if Genty's having the craziest year, what do the receiving numbers look like? You know, and it doesn't matter. Just win to me. But I gotta say, I think it's Brock. I think Chip Kelly's going to try to get Brock Bowers cheap yards all year, flats, plays where he can just leak out of the flat, play action. Brock Bowers leaking out the backside or using him as a decoy on the backside, and just these I think it's Bowers. I think Bowers is another 1,000-yard year. It's going to be, to me, it's Bowers is going to be like, can we get him some touchdowns? Is the big thing. And it's not his fault last year. They were a terrible red zone team. They didn't have good quarterbacks, but let's get him some more touchdowns. So doesn't have to be the case, but I think Jacoby has about an 800 yard season around there. Definitely get his touchdowns and definitely be efficient chain mover guy. And we'll see what happens. And if Tucker, again, can we unlock Tucker this year? That makes Myers go down a little bit. What's Dante Thornton year one? That's going to be a huge thing to watch in the preseason this year. What do they have in him? So it's a good problem to have to decide who's going to lead your team, because other years it's very obvious who's going to lead your team when you don't have very many good players.
See, the thing is, when you have Geno Smith, which I like, I think they could have versatile game plans where maybe they can come out passing, right? Pass a lot early on, and then run the ball to run the clock out, build a lead. They can, get certain teams that can just start running the ball early. That's why I think Geno makes him a little bit versatile. Just having a quarterback that can take the load of throwing the ball a lot. And, because, Geno's decisions were bad in the red zone, but for the most part, he's very accurate. He makes good decisions inside, in between the 20s, from 20 to 20. Makes pretty good decisions, doesn't throw a lot of picks there. And I think if you could protect him with the run game, and the run game is just a threat, then that makes a big difference. So I believe that they could be a little bit versatile. Like some games against teams that are weaker against the pass, they can come out and just pass, right? They're playing a team that can't stop the run, they can come out and run. And I think if they mix it up like that, I keep teams off guard, keep the offense going where, sometimes they maybe can throw the ball 40 times a game. And, Brock has a big game, Jacoby has a big game. And then maybe the time when Geno throws the ball 25 times and Ashton Genty's having a big game. So that's what I like about Geno being here, just having a quarterback, to be honest. That's what I like. Because if they get down, I don't have a problem with Geno Smith throwing the ball a lot. I'm not worried. Last year, we do over-unders last year. We're like, if we're at 35 attempts with Aiden O'Connell, we're going to lose. So,
yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't have to have that conversation anymore. So that's why it allows them to be versatile and decide how they want to beat this team that's in front of them.
We also get Geno Smith indoors for, I think, 10 or 11 games this year.
Yeah.
It might even be more than that. Because you get the home games, and then you get one Chargers road game. I think they play a few other games in domes too. Whatever, but Geno's dome numbers are crazy. I was rewatching some of his indoor games. I think it was the Lions game. I think there was a Cowboys game where he just went off, and that's what I'm hoping we get. Really, is just that, like. To be honest, they have greatest show on turf potential. Whether maybe not this year, but next year. But honestly, kind of this year, this year. Like they have that like construct of like a greatest. I know Bruce and Holt, they were better receivers, but let's just say Bowers is your Bruce, Isaac Bruce. Let's just say that much. And they have it. And Genty, to me, I like him a lot as a Marshall. I think they're going to use him as a Marshall Falk type a lot more. And if you watch Falk had a lot of wiggle coming out of San Diego State, and it kind of just reminds me a little bit of him.
Okay, all right. Do you buy the hype around Dante Thornton at camp is real? I think so.
I just think he's a specimen, and I think I've been saying this a long time. Dante Thornton's role this year, I expect, unless he just lights up camp and it's like, we have Randy Moss, and then. Sorry, 12 wins is possible. If that's the case, if you find out you have rookie Randy Moss on your roster, then we're talking about a different win total because they're gonna score 50 a game. But I think while he figures out wide receiver, adjusting from that Tennessee offense, which Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman, they still have a little bit of trouble doing that. As they adjust, I think there's going to be times where you line them up when you spread people out 4 wide. You go, all right, cover this guy, Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers, and that, right? Like and Trey Tucker, cover those guys. See if you can, Jack Besh or whatever. Just see if you can cover those 4 guys, and you can't put your best guy on Dante Thornton. Therefore, can he just run by him and take one to the house? So I want it, but conversely, if you see him in camp when they have pads on and Dante Thornton's beating press coverage like easily. I mean, the Raiders DBs, I don't know if are that good, but like if in preseason, if like he's just running by people and winning in crafty ways, and Hey, I mean that he's the big wild card of the draft.
He is, man. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you on that. Yeah, if he goes out there, has a great camp, man, and he makes a name for himself in camp, and he's beating people. Oof.
I mean, he's big as hell, dude. He's big as hell and fast. So
Huge.
yeah, like they're saying, like everybody can't. Like I think Max Crosby was saying, he's like, you walk by the guy, you're like, dude, what the hell? This guy's huge.
He's a monster.
Yeah, and then Jacoby Myers, who again, Jacoby Myers is on a contract year and hasn't gotten an extension yet, and he sees Dante Thornton, and he's like, oh, this kid's running my type of routes too, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Who has more rushing touchdowns, Mozart or JJ Puig?
Mostert. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to say something crafty, but I think Mostert gets about 5 or 6 rushing TDs this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go Puig because I think Genty's getting all the carries, man. I don't know how many carries Mosert's gonna have. Like if don't be the person who gets Raheem Mostert on fantasy. That's on my only fantasy tip here is do not do that. I'm gonna help you guys out. I think Genty's gonna get the ball all day. I think Genty's gonna be the horse. He's running too many routes too. That's the thing. Like when is Moser gonna get the ball? Because if he's running routes, that means they're gonna throw him the ball. They're gonna get different ways. I mean, unless they do things which Chip Kelly is really good. They put them both on the field at the same time. They don't have a fullback, right?
No, no, they had a they have a guy. They do have a guy that they're working in at fullback, and he's like I think he's like a tight end, converted tight end or something from a smaller school. I don't know if he's if he's got a chance or anything, but they do have a guy that's playing some fullback. His name escapes me, but yeah.
I don't know. I guess if they label him running back, maybe I don't know.
You don't think there's going to be some series where like Mostert's out there and they just keep Genty warm a little bit? I do. I definitely think they're going to
like temporarily. I don't know. I don't know how long they would do that. I think they're going to ride Genty a lot. I mean, there probably be moments, but I don't think it's going to be more than like 5 or 6 carries. I don't know if he's going to get the ball in the red zone. It all depends on how they work it out. That's like when we're talking about the running backs here. It's just hard for me to kind of get on board like some other guys going to get carries because I just feel like he's going to get like 300. So if he gets 300 and then how much does Moser get? Because then that kind of decides what type of team they are. That means they're a running football team if he's getting a lot of carries.
I think they are going to be a running football team. I think they're going to be a run football team and play action.
Yeah. I like I said, I definitely see that. I do believe that some games are going to pass a lot. So it's going to be like a mixture.
Yeah, I know. Like sometimes you don't have a choice. Sometimes you go down 10-0, and
that's true.
It's like you're a passing team. That's what we saw that with the Raiders last year a lot. Unfortunately, now they have to be a passing team with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question. We'll get to another topic here. Mark is in Glen. Do you think we'll have any interest in trading for Anthony Richardson? I recall Seattle was in play to draft him the year he came out.
First off, he's hurt right now. Anthony Richardson, he got hurt, and it's looking like my guy Danny Dimes is going to take the Colts job. And I'm going to laugh when he has a nice little year with Shane Steichen, by the way. I'm going to laugh at that. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the type of guy you don't trade for, I don't think. I think you cut, you try to get him if you want to. I personally don't see the need to go get a guy. He hasn't done anything in the NFL, like at all, except for a few deep passes. Again, if you've seen a couple Instagram reels of his throw, then sure. Like the one he had against the Texans, the opening one last year, everybody was like, holy shit, Anthony Richardson. And then you watch short game and your quick game. And it's just, I'm not sure he puts in the work enough. Like DeForest Buckner said as much last year. A lot of guys were saying like, hey man, we were behind you. We knew you had things to learn in the NFL, but we thought you would put in the work, and it doesn't seem like that's happening. So I would want to get this guy straight up when he was cut at his lowest point and be like, hey man, do you want to you can be our scout team quarterback for a year. Everyone's going to forget about you. We'll play you during the preseason. You can light it up. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd say I could see a spot for him. I wouldn't trade for him though.
You're not going to Aiden O'Connell for Anthony Richardson?
That'd be interesting. No, because I don't if Anthony Richardson's the backup for the Raiders this year, do you feel any good at all about this team? Like I don't. if he has to come in and play. Like he really doesn't.
I don't know. Maybe I think Chip can cook enough.
True. That's true. And he would go back to like wing T. He'd do like some wing T stuff with him. He would be like the Terrell Pryor Raiders year, but like probably better, to be honest. They have a better team. You're right. Him with Chip Kelly is interesting. I don't know if I need to like give up a pick for that because it doesn't like I don't think he's gonna win the starting job this year for the Colts.
You don't think so?
No,
he's hurt right now.
He's hurt right now, and it's a throwing shoulder, I think, which I don't know how you're hurting your throwing shoulder when no one can hit you. Maybe it's weight room or something. Probably a weight room, but just like that's not a good sign. And he gets hurt every year, regardless. Even his rookie season, he gets hurt. So
yeah,
I think they signed Daniel Jones 1 year, $14 million. I think he's their quarterback this year, and
there's a possibility for that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good year with Shane Steichen either, like a solid year where you're like, oh, this guy's playing some good football.
Yeah, because I think Chip Kelly at the run game, him and Ashley.
Yeah, it would be kind of nasty. Would be kind of nasty. You're right.
They run the ball pretty damn well. There'd be some fireworks, but Richardson just throws only 20 yards down the field. So I don't know if that's designed or that's just him being crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, shout out Took in the chat. Put Pat Conroy out of Old Dominion is the fullback.
Okay.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I just was like, I knew it was smaller school kind of fullback. I think he was a convert too. I think he was a tight end or something like that. That they're converting to fullback. So we'll see. That's an interesting development, by the way, is they might have a fullback this year.
Yeah. All right, let's do another voicemail here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hi, Marcus. My name is Riverside Raiders Steve. I'm a huge Raider fan. I love the show. I watch it religiously. I watch all Raiders content religiously. It's a problem. But my question to you guys is, a couple weeks back or about a month ago, I listened to a podcast from a Seattle beat reporter that talked about Pete Carroll, and ultimately what his diagnosis, right, of what Pete Carroll was that he raises the floor of all the players basically on that team or on his teams that he coached. Usually, the linebackers, the DBs, right, the defense in general. He said basically that the floor is higher, right, for the average players. So I wanted just to know if you guys agree with that, and do you think that will pertain to us specifically? Do you think that trend keep going, So thank you guys, and I appreciate it. I really love the show. Please don't stop. You get me through a lot of hard days. I appreciate it. Have a great morning.
No problem, man. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, if we're doing it in June, it ain't stopping. So yeah, I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Real shit.
You think you're a sicko? I'm the one talking about it in June. Yeah. For watching all that stuff. No, I completely agree about the floor thing. It's just a level of competence. People talk about his failed Patriots coaching. 27-21 as a Patriots head coach. Failed. Got fired. For the right guy, it all worked out for them. It all worked out for them. But you're talking about a guy where would he be in the Raiders coaches of the last 30 years if he was 27-21? He'd be up there. Number one.
I think Jack Del Rio has the best record as a Raiders coach, doesn't he?
Right, and it's like 500. I mean, it's like 500. Or no, he's a little over 500 because he had the. You know what? He's probably around 500 because he was 7-9, 12-4, and then ass. They were. So I think they were like 6-10. That next one. So I'm pretty sure Pete Carroll has that. Would even his failed Patriots team, which they were a solid roster. Like they were okay. They were kind of losing. They were kind of what the Raiders are right now. Bledsoe. They didn't know what Bledsoe was going to become. Anyways, I say all that to say this: he took over a Seattle team that was terrible. They were bad. I saw the year before he took over. I saw the Raiders beat them 33-3, and I sat behind Marshawn Lynch's family on Mount Davis. He almost bought out the whole section, and he was on the Seahawks at the time, and they were destroying that team, that Matt Hasselbeck, Marshawn Lynch team. And then Pete comes in, and they just have a new identity. So, and they play hard, they play with confidence, but there's some intellect and IQ. Is the IQ floor of your team, I think, raises a little bit. Like your dumbest player your dumbest player gets a little bit better, I feel like.
Mhm.
And I'm not trying to say they're dumbest. Maybe let's just say least talented or whatever. But like, let's say Lonnie Johnson is the starting nickel for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about that. Neither are you
Uh-huh.
right now. But let's say
No,
he
not.
is. We have reason to believe that Pete Carroll saw that and said, I can make this work, and at least not make him this absolute liability on offense or on defense. Like, we have to try. We can trust him. He's done enough to where we can trust him with stuff like that.
Yeah, and to be honest, you know, I think the cornerbacks and the safeties are going to play a whole lot better than we think, right? And then, which makes me excited about Darren Porter. That's why I'm really excited about Darren Porter, because I think that they're going to help him reach not his floor, his ceiling. And if that dude reaches his ceiling, like the Raiders have a corner for years.
You could be a top 10 in the league corner.
Yeah. He just has that speed, length, bend in his hips, the ability to transition. All that talent is there with him, and the ball skills. Man, yeah, he has a chance to be special. Because, you know, it's funny. Like, what if he gets a lot out of Eric Stokes? I've been thinking about that, because Eric Stokes is good at one. He's really good at one thing, right? And I feel like you put him in the position to do that, you can get a lot out of Eric Stokes, right?
DeCamerion Richardson.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Those type of guys, right?
That's what I mean. Like Isaiah Polamalu, you know, these guys that like, that's their archetype. That's what he likes out of that.
Thomas Harper,
Jeremy Chin could have his best year, you know, like a Thomas Harper. These guys can have their best years for the Raiders. Now, as Raider fans, we're cynical because we've said that every year. I do think this coach has the track record of making equivalent talent work better, though.
Yeah. Because I don't think those Seahawks teams, like, you know, the last couple of years are actually that good. I don't think they drafted very well.
Not at all.
You know, that's why they had to make trades for like Diggs and Jamal Adams and stuff like that, because they weren't drafting well.
And even taking Witherspoon as high as they did, they probably wouldn't have done that if they were drafting the way they normally were, with getting guys in the 3rd and 4th round, 5th round at corner. They were kind of like, they got a little reductive and a little less creative towards the end. And then you look at what the Raiders, that's why I kind of like the duo of him and Spytek, who I think Spytek is just like, he is a draft guy. Like, you can just tell, like, people might not like every pick, but like every pick I understood, at least for the most part. Caleb Rogers I still have a little trouble with, but again, if he might prove me wrong too. I just mean, I saw it with a lot of the pick. Okay, I see what you're doing there. That makes a lot of sense. I see what you're doing there. And if he's just able to know what Pete wants, I mean, you're talking about building a contender very quick if that happens.
I agree with you on that, dude. All right, let's talk about Ash Jetty versus top 5. So, let me pull this up here. It's got Ash Jetty versus top 5 picks: Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham. So this basically, we go through these players. Does Ashton Jeanty have a better year than basically all these players? And we're going to go through every single one. So let's start with Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Does Ashton Jeanty have a better year than Cam Ward?
So it's funny, right? Because you're talking about, I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean Ashton Jeanty can be better than Cam Ward and still not win Rookie of the Year, because that's just what that award. If Cam Ward is anything but ass this year, he's going to win Rookie of the Year. If he has an average season for the Titans, just average, does okay, makes a couple big plays, Titans win 6 games or something, Cam Ward's Rookie of the Year. But I think Ashton Jeanty's better. You know, like, so it's just, we're throwing positional value out of here and we're going through all of this. I think Ashton Jeanty will be a better player this year, his rookie year, than Cam Ward.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that, because I still think Cam Ward's going to have some issues. I don't know how good that Titans team is. I mean, if he gets some help from that running game and like Tony Pollard plays better, because Pollard got 1,000 yards, but the league's running the ball more, and he only averaged like 4 yards a carry. It wasn't that really that impressive.
Yeah, that Spears guy's a little baller too behind him.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, Cam Ward has to learn how to play within the NFL quarterback, within the game. So I think there's going to be a lot of that, especially if that team's not good, of him like trying to like force plays and stuff like that. But, you know, people ask about Anthony Richardson. Why is nobody wants to trade for Will Levis? Huh? Nobody wants to.
Will Levis likes mayonnaise, man. Like it's a big thing about Will Levis is like his like quirkiness. And let's be real, he hasn't been good. I mean, but yeah, I mean, you're talking about a similarly skilled player. Like, and to be honest, I think Levis has had some better play at times than and he's just really dumb. So it's the Jackass theme song is playing all the time while he's playing. It's just, I'm Will Levis and welcome to Jackass, and he just like this is me lateraling it to a DB, you know, and it's just Johnny Knoxville out there. It's crazy. Yeah. That would make sense. He's because he plays in Tennessee. Johnny Knoxville's a pretty solid name for him. But the anyways, well, I mean, hey, Will Levis after this year, I think is going to be a big time trade candidate for a team that with a smart, like a Sean McVay type coordinator might go, give me that guy. Let me see.
Yeah, I agree, dude.
Travis Hunter.
I'm gonna switch this up. Have this do it like this. All right, Travis Hunter. What do you think?
I think Travis Hunter is the best player in this draft. It's weird. I'm not saying there's a bit of a Travis Hunter contrarianism, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to call out Travis Hunter for being bad. They want to be early on him, like not working in the NFL. I see some like his route running where they're like, I saw the same account, and this is the problem with a lot of the modern accounts and like the engagement baiting that they do is they'll post a clip of Travis Hunter kind of like running a kind of funky comeback route that just doesn't look right. And they're like, ooh, really struggling in camp. I can't find the soundbite where they're saying that anywhere, but he's struggling in camp. They said, then the next day they're like, wow, Travis Hunter's getting better. It's like, it's the next day. Like, what do you mean? But Travis Hunter, I think is such a freak because lost in the fact that plays, offense and defense. He played all those snaps in Colorado altitude.
Yeah,
he's a freak. Like I mean, and they said when he was working out, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of combine. I don't know if not combine or anything. I forget what it was. He was doing some sort of like rookie workout thing. They said guys were like gassed, and Hunter's just like, yeah, what's up, dude? I'm ready to go. Travis Hunter's off the field decisions, I think, are a little interesting. Don't marry a girl right away that has a money sign tattooed on her ring finger. Please don't do that, Travis. Enjoy Jacksonville, enjoy Florida for a few years. Go fishing. I know he's kind of a nerd, so I think that's a classic nerd move. Is marry kind of like a girl like that's classic nerd move. But anyways, I just mean for me, I think Hunter is the one of the only guys on this list I think can actually have a better rookie year than Genty.
Yeah, man. You gotta listen to Pusha T, man. You don't date a girl who loves her face on the camera because she'll fuck anyone. She'll even fuck the janitor. Gotta listen to Pusha T, bro. When I saw that, I was just like, man, this chick is just plotting on you. Like she just knows exactly what she's getting into. Again, that's not my problem. Yeah, because she's that type of chick. She pisses him off. She'd be fucking Brian Thomas.
Damn. And she's like, I told you I don't fuck corners. You said you were playing wide receiver this year.
Anyways, all right. Travis Hunter. So I was Googling while you're talking. Is he? So he's playing both sides over there.
Well, there's reps of him in coverage. There's reps of him running routes. I don't know what their plan is. I think they're being coy about it. I think it's his own camp comments. He's like competing against himself in camp right now. It's kind of crazy. It's the first guy to ever do that, I think.
See, that's my thing with Travis Hunter having a better season than Ashton Genty, because I do believe, and I understand what you're saying, Glenn, that like way he's just a freak, but I always felt like he should pick a position. Like you got to pick one.
Yeah.
And I always felt like you like playing wide receiver more, so you should just do that. Just play wide receiver, bro. Just be a slot guy, because that's really what he is. He's a slot guy. Be that type of dude, and but I think he's gonna play corner because he is more natural there, in my opinion. But it's the dynamic of him. Like I don't know how he's going to decide that, because he's such a big player. He's such a big personality that he's probably gonna decide if he plays both sides at first. So that's why I'm gonna go Ashton Genty over Travis Hunter. I'm gonna go Ashton Genty.
Okay. All right. And
All
did
right,
you formally take him over Cam Ward? I don't remember. You decided Genty was having a better rookie season.
Yeah, Jensen had
All right.
yeah,
Mhm.
because Cam Ward's getting struggle a little bit. I think
Mhm.
never because I'm telling you, Jay Dale's film is just I was watching
Yeah.
it. It was like watching like the best rookie seasons you could think of. Like the Herberts, the
Marino.
Dax. He just didn't look like a rookie.
Right.
Like it was crazy to watch. So like,
Yeah.
like how long you been in the NFL, bro?
Yeah, and then the Detroit playoff game, like you're just
Bro.
like, man, he just looked like the best player out of
I was
anyway. Yeah.
like I put on Twitter that I almost DM'd AOC. I thought about it. I was like, EOC was like, fuck you, bro. Like, like crazy fan.
I mean,
Fuck
really,
you
it's
and your
Mark Davis.
mustache.
Like, you should have just wrote it out with McDaniels.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Fuck you and your 4 touchdown game against the Chargers, bro. Whatever.
I know.
touchdowns you got.
I know. I had so much fun that night, though, dude. God,
I know I
that was
did.
so much.
I did
I'll
too.
never trade that night, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, Gino's gonna win the MVP this year, guys. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, Abdul Carter.
This is interesting because does Abdul Carter start right away? The obvious answer is yes, but they kind of took him. He was not really a position of need for them, and I'm not attacking the pick at all. I'm classic not draft for need guy, but they have Thibodeau, who they're not sure what they're going to do with him after this year, but he has been the starter there. He's been kind of I won't say a disappointment, but he's definitely not where they anticipated him being, I think, as a pass rusher, taking as high as he was. And then you have Brian Burns, who they give up a lot of money, and he's a stud. So with Dexter Lawrence. So I think he might be early on third downs, and I don't like him against the run. I mean, he's just not a good run defender at this moment. Like, frankly, I don't think so. And I do think Genty's going to have a better year than him for sure. The rookie year. I think Abdul Carter after this year, I think he's going to cement himself as a starting, edge for the Giants. And then we could be talking about 15 sack seasons from him because I think he definitely has that bend, that Von Miller type bend that people chase after. But this year, I think Genty's usage rate as opposed to Abdul Carter is going to be otherworldly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look at this 2 ways. I think Genty's gonna have a better year, but I think Abdul Carter, just media wise, is gonna get more love. Like he's gonna get that, like
it's New York,
yeah, and the pressures he might get. Like he's gonna have the pressures because he's got Brian Burns in front of him.
Brian Burns and like I said, Thibodeau, pretty good run defender. So like he's gonna be on the field for like first and second down and stuff, and then both of them are gonna have Dexter Lawrence just destroying stuff for them. I mean, their defensive line is going to be nasty this year, I think.
Yeah.
And on third down, he's going to have one job on third down. They're going to find a way to get him in on third down where it's like, hey, just go get the quarterback down. And he's probably still going to have 7-8 sacks his rookie year, even if that's all he's doing.
Yeah, that's interesting as hell to me. But they
didn't really need him. Like they did. What I mean is, you always need guy. You're always going to need him. But like he was not. They didn't draft him, and he was one of the guys in this top 5 where you draft him, and it's like, is that my starting defensive end? Maybe not. Everybody else is a starter in this top 5.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. I'm not gonna lie.
But you got to draft that way, because next year, do you pay Thibodeau? It puts you in a position? Am I paying Thibodeau what Trey Hendrickson wants right now? No.
Yeah.
So it allows you to some leverage against a guy like Thibodeau.
What's interesting? They got him listed as a linebacker here.
Yeah. I mean, he's an edge at the end of the day. I mean, it's
right. I wonder what they got him playing. They got him playing linebacker.
Yeah, because there is that, right? Because he didn't convert to defensive end until his senior year, right? He was playing a little linebacker. He's got that Micah Parsons kind of classic number 11 thing. So they might find some off the ball looks for him early. I don't know their scheme enough to know if that's a thing, but they might. Like if they have that, I know that Leo position's kind of dying, but like that would be a good spot for him early.
Yeah. Oof. I mean, do you play him over Burns?
I mean, you have to also realize this too with that team. Dayball and the GM are for sure on the hot seat more than almost anybody in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
So they're not going to defer to like Brian Burns if he's not playing better than Abdul Carter. They're gonna go, nope, put the best guy out there. I don't care. So it'll be interesting.
All right, Will Campbell.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm not the biggest Will Campbell fan. I don't know. I think he's a good player. I think he's a first round pick, but the short arms I think are going to be a problem. I mean, you look at guys like Skoronski in the NFL. We're still waiting on his breakout year. Guys that have those short arms. They come into play.
Oh, the dude from Northwestern. What team is he on now?
Exactly, Marcus. No, but I mean, like, you would know if he was balling, you'd know. But I mean, he's on Tennessee. He's on Tennessee.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I did like Skoronski coming out. I was like, what happened to him?
But he had the same thing. Was, oh man, this guy's tape is great. His arms are really short. I don't know his arm length versus Will Campbell. I don't know who's got longer arms, but it feels like a similar thing where it's like there's a good player, but where do I play him? And but I think I honestly think you try him at tackle in camp, but they can't. If they decide that he's a guard, if they just go, you know what, I know we took him early, but he's a guard. He's a tone setter for our team. He's a leader. He's a captain. Definitely seems like a just one of those psycho Richie Incognito guys. If you hear him talk,
yeah.
If he plays guard, I think he could easily have a Quentin Nelson year. But if they decide they're going to be dumb and be like, well, to validate the pick, we actually have to put him at tackle to validate this thing, and he just has a bad year, Genty's going to clear him easily.
That is super interesting. I totally forgot about that dude, man.
Peter Skoronski is in year 3 right now, and everybody, I'd forgotten about him. The PFF had him with Jackson Powers Johnson as like breakout guys, their top 10 breakout guys this year.
Really?
Yeah. Like, so what I mean is he hasn't broken out yet. So, and I don't know what position he's playing this year, Skoronski, but that arm length, it matters at tackle, I think.
Yeah. I'm interested.
And he gets Max Crosby week 1, right?
Yeah.
Will Campbell? Will Campbell?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Or Kuntz, but either one. You're going to get a technician. You're either going to get Tasmanian Devil or you're going to get the technician with some bend.
Yeah. I mean, Skoronski he had a 76 passing grade last year.
Okay, so he played good. But yeah, his arm length was, I mean, he had really short arms. So
yeah, he had 54 running.
And did he play guard last year or tackle?
Guard.
So they did kick him inside, which his numbers went. Yeah, I know they were saying they were going to try him at tackle. What I'm saying is, I guess my long-winded take was, if the Patriots have him at tackle, I think he's going to have a tough rookie year. If they have him at guard, I think he could be like no joke, like Quentin Nelson right off the bat. But I think they might try to be like, well, we have to make this work because a top 5 pick on a guard can't happen.
Yeah, my only thing that maybe I would think different about that is I think Campbell played against, and I hate to say this about the Big Ten, but he played against better competition. So I'm not going to say it.
You think so?
Yeah,
SEC last year? That was defense.
It's like South Carolina defense.
South Carolina,
Ole Miss.
Other than that, though, Bama's defense was good, but the pass rush not quite. I don't think Bama's pass rush was what it was in years past. Auburn, no. The LSU didn't play any kind of defense last year. They're Big Ten. You have Ohio State, you have Michigan. There's some.
Yeah.
Most years you're absolutely correct. I just don't know about last year. Yeah.
I don't think he has a better year than Ashton Jetty anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, Mason Graham.
This is gonna be interesting because he's set up for sacks all day.
He is
on that team. Like that's. I mean, you're playing with Myles Garrett. I think their defense is pretty solid. I'm glad. I had Graham and Genty as like I'd be fine with it, either one. Like I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't be sprinting the card in, excited about it, but either guy I'd understand the pick.
Mm-hmm.
Graham, they're putting him at a position where the arm length doesn't nearly matter as much. And like I said, I think he's on a D line. Their D line is nice, man. I forget some of the other players they have on it, but their D line is good. That is not a weakness of their team at all. And again, you're playing against. I love Max, but I think Garrett's probably the best in the league right now.
Yeah.
At end, it just seems to be the case, and he could run it. He could run into like 8 sacks at D tackle, straight up his rookie year.
He could. Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard from any of these players to me, year one, to say they're going to be better than Genty. I really look at it. Just because he's running back.
Well, if Hunter plays receiver, I think he could.
Yeah, I think you got a point with that. Maybe if he plays receiver,
because that's touchdowns, that gets noticed. That's like, oh, touchdown, and Jags, you're playing with Brian Thomas, and if you have Hunter and Thomas, that's like, oof. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, pressure's on Trevor Lawrence there at that point, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What I'm saying, the reason the whole did this exercise is like, you look at the top 5 ahead of him. You could argue, other than Mason Graham, all of those positions are more valuable than Genty if you're, a football nerd.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to have big debates on whether any of them off the bat are going to have better rookie seasons than Genty, or even better rookie contracts than Genty. So I think the Raiders made the right pick, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Membu is the only guy. If Membu is balling for the Jets, and I'm like, okay, then I'll be a little bit like that. But other than that, man, I think the Raiders made the right pick. And just honestly, the top. This is kind of a weaker top 5.
It is when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weak, man. It is kind of weak. It's kind of weak. All right, so let's get some questions, and we get to where we came here for today.
Yes,
which is 2016 versus 2015.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How many points per game do you think Chip Kelly and Geno put up this year? What number do you think they need to make the playoffs?
24 point something, like 20. I'll say 24.5. They're gonna have to have a few shootouts and then a couple sloppy games where the defense comes through with some turnovers.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 25 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 25.
Got to be around there.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that, again, we talked about the magic Pete could work with these corners, but I gotta see that happen before I start thinking this defense is good.
Yeah, I think they're gonna start off so hot on offense that it's gonna take Raiders fans off guard. It's just, I think they, like, when we did the predictions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how I did it, because I think they're gonna slow down at the end of the year. That's kind of how I feel. But we'll see how that goes for them. So we said Bowers, 4 verts. Who feels more dangerous, 4 verts than that? It's pretty good, 4 verts. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're right. I mean, that makes me want to buy Madden this year.
For real, dog. For real. All right. Is Thomas Harper any good?
Watch the breakdown on this channel, guys. It was pretty good. I watched it. I thought some of that Harper tape was like, oh,
me too, bro. I was like, yo.
No, and he's physical. He's gonna play a lot, I think, this year. I do. Because he was a Notre Dame guy, but I only saw his senior year, and they played him a lot at nickel, and he did do well. Right now at nickel, they have Ryan Clark's son playing nickel, but he wasn't ready yet. Or actually, I think he transferred or something. But they had. But Thomas Harper played 1 year at Notre Dame, and he was good. He was a good nickel corner and played a little safety, looked versatile, could tackle, and that showed up last year. I mean, he was beaten up on some kind of bad teams. He kind of showed up in that Saints and those Jaguar games last year a lot. But I think if you can find a spot for him on this team, he does a lot of things well, and he does not shy about getting involved in the mess and in the muck, in the pile. He'll make some plays, and he dropped a pick 6 last year, but he's around the ball. He's around the ball a lot, and that picky. I watched your breakdown. I didn't remember that interception he had against the Saints either.
Me either.
I was like, wait, when was this? It was a nice play. I was like, was the game just like over? Was that just like 12 seconds left in the game or something?
I don't know what that was. I was like, man, that was really nice, but I was like, I do not remember. That's how tapped out we were, Glenn. We were tapped out.
He's tight. No, I like it. I like Thomas Harper. It'll be really interesting what they do at safety this year.
Yeah.
How to get those 3 guys. You have Chin, Polamalu, and Harper. And do you find ways to have Harper play a little nickel? And I think the Raiders are going to be tough to run on this year. I've been saying that a while. They're going to be tough to run on, I think.
I think so too.
Roberts and the defensive line the way it is. We still don't know about Wilkins. I'm not sure about that, but the corners should be able to tackle. Chin, they're going to be tough to run on.
I think so too. All right. Any news on Trey Taylor? No, I haven't heard anything about Trey Taylor.
Yeah, no, Trey Taylor's workout numbers weren't good, and I think it showed up a little bit when he played in preseason. It was just like,
Yeah,
Like, he's just
he's
not that
got to
fast.
show a lot. He's got to show a lot. All right, let's get to voicemail, and then we get to
Out here in Tacoma,
finale.
Washington, but I'm from Colorado originally. Fellas, my name's Aaron. I'm out here in Tacoma, Washington, but I'm from Colorado originally, Broncos country. So, you know, my childhood sucked. I appreciate y'all setting up the voicemail. I appreciate y'all for the work that you do, because I think I identify a lot with how y'all are Raiders fans, because you're jaded like me. I'm in my late 20s. They've been
Yep.
subjectively bad, or I guess objectively bad, for pretty much my entire life, and at least my entire football consciousness.
Are you driving? Are you driving right now, sir?
My question for y'all is, what is the worst time that you really got bought into some Raiders shit and then you were really disappointed? Like, for me, I let myself get caught up in believing in the Antonio Pierce experiment. That's on me. I should have known better. But I'm just curious as to what was the time that y'all really got in on something, really bought in, and then were ultimately let down by this franchise we all love and hate. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, and y'all have a good one.
Ooh, all right, Glenn.
I mean, the easy answer is 2017. Right?
I know it is, right?
But, you know, they had come off a playoff year, so I don't know if that counts as buying in, because that means you think they're doing that. I think a sneaky one is that I'll tell you, man, this is going to sound really dumb, but I know there were Raider fans that agreed with this. When Al Davis passed away, I was not happy, but I remember thinking, like, okay, there was a lot of shit going wrong with this team, and now it's somebody else who's going to divvy up things. And when they hired Dennis Allen, and I didn't know anything about Dennis Allen, but those Broncos defenses were good. They had Carson Palmer, and the roster wasn't that good, but I was like, you know what? I think they're gonna play pretty well this year. And they were horrible. I think Carson Palmer like collapsed a lung in a game. Like they were terrible. Awful. I mean, they were terrible. Like just awful. The other thing would be the McDaniels one, and when you're coming off a playoff team, but those are coming off playoffs, so it's like, of course you buy in.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like you're being irrational by buying in, and that to me was the Carson Palmer, Dennis Allen start, which was flamed out so bad. It wasn't even. It never. I mean, it didn't even have a spark when it started. Now it's just garbage.
I think the time that I bought in, like in a stupid way, just as a stupid Raiders fan, was 2014. When they got like Maurice Jones-Drew and like
didn't they start 0-10?
Yeah.
That's pretty
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was such a big. I'm like, we get Maurice Jones-Drew.
Yeah.
He only had 800 yards the year before, but bro, he's nice. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when I kind of bought into him. Like Darren McFadden, Maurice Jones-Drew. You know what I'm saying?
Remember when he fumbled and he kicked it back, bicycle kicked it
that was like week 1, dog.
That was so dumb. I was like, all right, circus music playing. And you're like, oh, never mind, this ain't gonna work. Yeah, I'm with you. That's a great call. 2014. It's funny though, because they were building a little something. Because we're going to talk about the 2016 team. They were building something.
Yeah,
like that. It made sense. Damn, that Alden Smith was balling for the Raiders. By the way, he was balling. They played the Steelers. When they beat the Steelers, he tore their ass up that game. I remember. I was like, ooh, man, that was a good. Yeah,
because I remember like thinking like going into like before the first preseason game, like okay, thinking like maybe they could like be a little bit better. They got Maurice Jones-Drew coming in. They got Darren McFadden. They got a little bit of a backfield. Maybe they can make it happen. I remember watching that preseason game against the Vikings, and I texted one of my friends at the time. I was like, "Oh, this team's gonna suck."
Yeah.
So,
Justin Tuck.
Yeah.
They brought
in you know what I mean?
Like everybody from like 2007 that was going crazy.
Man, I kind of just like bought in a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah.
Yeah, gosh, I remember that well. They started 0-10, and then I remember that Thursday night game against the Chiefs where they almost blew it, but they won. And I remember thinking like it was fun to watch that team win because also that year they drafted C.O. Moore, or the year before they drafted C.O. Moore, and everybody thought he was going to be really good. The edge out of there, and then him and Mac couldn't remember to stop celebrating during 2-minute drill. That was hilarious. Thank God for Justin Tuck because they probably lose that game without him.
Yeah. I don't even know why I bought in that year. It was more because I was such a big fan of Maurice Jones-Drew. I think it was more of that.
Ah, he's a beast. We might have the second one right now on the roster. Yeah.
Seriously.
Another sneaky one is the following year when the Raiders they it was weird, man. I had to listen to this entire game on the radio. I was pre-gaming before seeing Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker live at
Yeah.
Shoreline Amphitheater. But they were
Uh-huh.
playing the Ravens week 2. It was the home opener, if I'm not mistaken. Either the home, no, it wasn't. It was their second game because they got routed by the Bengals in week 1.
I was at that game, the 2015 team.
Cooper broke off a nasty like corner route or something. I was just like, I was like, we're gonna win this game. Seth Roberts hits the game winner that year, and you're like, oh yeah, we're going to the playoffs. This is second year of Derek Carr. This is how this works.
Yeah.
This is how this works. We're bad last year. Second year Derek Carr. And that might be my real answer was that one. And they went 7-9. They were okay, but it was
because I remember the next game against the Browns, like Derek Carr and like Cooper and Crabtree, they balled that game.
They did.
Game. The next week, I was like, oh man, maybe holy shit, do we got a quarterback?
I'm telling you, like they looked good at the beginning of that year.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is and the division. That's the thing, is the division wasn't that good back then.
I know. They just had steady Andy Reid and Alex Smith.
Yeah, I think Peyton might have been in Denver. Peyton was running that division for a little bit. The Chargers were not good.
Not 2015 though, because 2015, I mean, that's when Peyton couldn't throw the ball like more than 5 yards.
Right, that's right. Yeah, that's
they just
right.
had like one of the greatest defenses.
That's the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right?
yeah.
That's funny. All right, let's get into that. Let's get into 2016 versus 2025. Now, this is gonna be interesting, man, because some of these positions, I was like, yo, I don't know. Like, the most interesting one was special teams. Like it's gonna cause the most discussion.
Really?
I think so, because it's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. All right, so let's start. Quarterback. Derek Carr versus Geno Smith. This is easy.
Is it?
It's not easy, but like it's not as complex as like everybody else is like 4 players each position. You got to kind of like break down.
Yeah, you got Geno Smith's messed up ass haircut in this clip. I'm cracking up at that picture. I'm like, I bet you Geno's like, dog, never put that picture up of me again. He's just, you caught me at a weird time where the helmet packed it in tight. Yeah. I mean, I gotta say it's Geno, right? Because we haven't seen Geno play a snap yet for the Raiders, so this could age poorly. I gotta go Geno, but tell you, 2016. If you're talking about 2016 Carr, man played his ass off that year.
That's what I was saying. Because I was thinking about this before the show. Like, I mean, Geno's 35. And I'm putting him against a young Carr before his leg injury.
First off, he's going to be turning 35. Him and I were born the same week. I don't appreciate you calling me 35 at this moment. We were born the same week, 1990. Libra Kings. Yeah.
But I'm just saying how I kind of look at it a little bit, just a tiny bit, is who's the younger guy here? Right? Who's the younger up and coming guy? Like if I really was picking both of them, and I know Raiders fans, I don't care how you feel about Derek Carr after the 9 years.
Right, exactly.
2016,
we were hyped. We were hyped that year. That's what I mean. I was
lie to yourself.
I was hyped that year.
Don't lie to yourself. We all thought we had a quarterback. He was the first. Like I went and bought a Raiders jersey for the first time in years because somebody deserved it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we were all in on Derek Carr, so that's why I kind of go Derek Carr in this one because it's Derek Carr before the broken leg. You know what I mean? And even when Derek Carr had I think he had more quirks back then. A little bit, but I still think like he was just more of a free player,
right?
Even if he didn't like hit,
fluid. Right? Everything was fluid. He could take a hit and like come back in and it could like charge him up a little bit, and whereas post that leg injury, he just always felt there was just ghosts in the pocket on him, and it was just never the same.
Yeah. Oof. But yeah, that's what I would go Derek Carr here.
I'll take Geno. But what you're saying is absolutely correct, and I think people are judging it in 2025, whereas I know 90% of this chat was like felt like Derek Carr was gonna be, damn good at this.
Yeah, we all thought he was gonna be like, especially after how that year started and how the year went along. There's not a single Raiders fan that hated Derek Carr at that point. Let's keep it real.
No, people pretend they did, but no, we were all hyped. We thought we had, we thought we had the next guy, and he was solid, but it never got better than that year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Brendan Trowick. Oh my gosh, people are bringing up crazy names in the chat. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, don't do that to us, man. All right, so let's do running back here. Let's get running back going. This was interesting. I didn't want to go too deep because, like, I know somebody's gonna be pissed that I put Zamir White over just Sincere McCormick. I already feel like somebody's gonna be like,
yeah. You need the problem is like you need the Zamir White body type works well, but he just doesn't use his body type the way like that works with that run group. Is you need that like I need 2 yards right now, and it has to happen. But Zamir White will just dance around and not do anything and pick the wrong hole and just fall down. So, but I think for now, I think you're correct in having them that.
Okay. So who are you taking in this group, Glenn? Who are you taking?
So it's interesting. I'm going to take. I was really hyped about DeAndre Washington, believe it or not, and he sucked.
Me too.
He got popped so hard against the Chiefs one time, and then we just didn't hear about him again.
Yeah,
I remember one time. I think he ran like kind of like this like angle route, and somebody on the Chiefs just cleaned his clock. I can't remember what year it was, but it was like, oh, that's over. He was just. You find out like you're just not cut out for football. And that was him. Because he was at Texas Tech cutting it up. Like, he looked good. Jalen Richard, nobody knew who that was. But then, obviously, legendary run against the Saints that week 1. But so if I'm talking about going into a season, I'm not really that hyped about the 2016 class, though. Or about the 2016 team.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Ashton Genty right now.
That's the thing. Like,
I don't know. I'm treating this as though I'm getting ready for the 2016 season as opposed to the 2016 team. So I'm like looking at it and I'm like, you're arguing with your coworker, like, we're going to be tight this year. No, you guys don't have any running backs. Oh, no, we have DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard. Who's Jalen Richard? And I like Jalen Richard. I
like Jalen Richard.
Yeah, good. Pass protection, GOAT. I mean, he was unreal. Pass protection. Lions game when Carr hit him with that best throw of Carr's career, in my opinion, was that wheel route to Jalen Richard against the Lions. Unreal. Latavius Murray, I've always thought it's like, God, dude, why do you have like mobster cement shoes on? Like they're gonna throw you in a lake after the game. Like, dude, I don't understand why you can't change directions at all. He literally would be Derrick Henry if that was the case.
He's so great in the red zone, though, man.
That's what I mean. He'd be Derrick Henry if he could have like any sort of like wiggle to him whatsoever. Yeah,
like he's literally survived in the NFL because of how good he is in the red zone. Mm-hmm. like he, I think he's still in the league, ain't he? He's still playing.
He was on. I remember he was on the Saints. I don't know that. I mean, if he's on a roster right now, I don't know, but. He was on the Saints last time I saw him play. I know that, but I gotta take the running backs right now for sure.
Yeah, I would do the same thing because we got Ashton Genty. That's the big thing.
Exactly. It's like we would be crazy hype.
I mean, yeah,
he was all right.
You're right. He did deserve some love. He has some big plays. He did some big plays that year against Texans, the Bucks.
Sure.
He has some big plays.
Good player.
He did.
I thought he was a solid player for what he was. I mean, he made the team as a UDFA, and we wanted him to be Marcel Reese. He had moments where he was. Yeah.
He did have some good plays.
I do wish this team had Marcel Reese, though. That was one thing I wish this team had Marcel Reese.
They got rid of him like that year,
They did. I wish they had like 2010 Marcel Reese on this team. Yeah. That would have been so nice.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next one. We got wide receiver here. Let me sure I get the right. Here we go. Wide receiver. Here we go.
Ooh, this is interesting.
This is a tough one. 2016, Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree, Seth Roberts, Andre Holmes, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Jack Betch, Dante Thornton.
Oh, that's tough. I think I might have. I'm pretty hyped about the receiving core right now, and I've like argued against the fact that they need to make some like massive move or anything. But ironically, like I wouldn't even hate if they signed the guy that I'm going to talk about right now, Amari Cooper. Like, even if they signed him, like you could see his veteran presence being needed a little bit or something. But that when you're talking about year 2, Amari Cooper, right? It was the second year, I believe at this point.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
And then
second year.
Crabtree was a stud the year before. Found him under a rock, basically making fun of my Niner fan coworkers. That was awesome. I loved it. Seth Roberts, I didn't know a lot about it at the time, but he ended up having a very big year for the Raiders.
Super clutch. Seth Roberts is clutch,
clutch
bro.
as hell.
2 minutes.
Clutch
2 minutes left.
Yeah, he would drop the dumbest ball of all time, but he would also like that touchdown against Tampa that year.
Yeah,
to win the game, where he ping pongs off of 2 defenders and just this is insane.
Fourth quarter Seth, bro. Fourth quarter Seth.
Insane, right? And I believe he had the game winner against the Ravens the year before.
Yeah.
So he had, and then Andre Holmes, who I always liked, great special teamer, and then also just was good. He was. I got to take 2016.
Yeah, I'll take it 2016 too, because you have to think about it like. It's Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree. Crabtree had a big year. Carr had a good rapport with him until they stopped liking each other for some reason. And then, but Michael Crabtree stopped liking he didn't like Lamar Jackson. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Michael Crabtree is just a weird guy. He's an interesting.
I mean, he held out and he was taking pictures like Prince with a mink coat on when he was holding out with the Niners. I mean, he's a different kind of guy.
Yeah, eat pancakes.
That was literally a Dave Chappelle Prince skit. Like that was happening. It was hilarious.
With like a bandana on and shit.
Yeah, he was
pancakes in a robe.
Yeah, he was out of control. I mean, but that receiving core was legit. Like that was a legit receiving core.
Yeah, it was. Man, you got to take Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree.
Remember against the Jets? What year was that against the Jets where Crabtree broke? He had 3 touchdowns in the game, but he had that one where he broke like 5 tackles and went into the end zone.
That was 2015.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? That was nuts. I was like, man, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's 2016. I'm hopeful for the young guys. It's different because these guys are young.
Yeah,
these guys now. Tucker, Besh. I haven't seen Besh or Dante Thornton play football yet. I had seen all of these guys play football in 2016, so I was pretty hyped about that.
John so that wasn't Tywan Jones. No, Tywan Jones did that game too. Yeah. Baby Shook showed up. We got Baby Shook here. He said, "What up, fellas?" Still be complaining about my long voice.
I was just trying to shake you down for $5, Shook. That's all I was trying to do. That's all I was trying to do.
Yeah, we're just trying to get some money out of you, Shook. That's exactly.
That's it, bro. That's it. Yeah. This is how I win. Yeah.
All right. What's next? Tight ends, right? Tight ends.
I mean, that's gonna be an easy one.
Yeah. Tight ends.
Clive Walford.
I didn't care about spelling name.
It didn't matter. It
doesn't even matter. Who cares?
Michael Rivera. Yeah, guy. Those were 2 guys I was pretty hyped about when they got drafted because Michael Rivera. Look, I think he had a huge camp his first year. I think either 2014 or 2015. Clive Walford had good tape out of Miami, I remember, and he had that nice in 2016. He had a really nice touchdown against the Chargers where he looked like a beast. Got hurt on an ATV or something.
Four-wheeling Clive.
Yeah, I remember that. And then he was never the same. Madison Bumgarner's the same way. Baseball ATVs, man, don't do it. Don't do it if you're a pro athlete. I get why you do. They're sick, but Lee Smith, classic glue guy, great blocker. Sneak out for a touchdown here and there. Eligible line bit. When they would have those when they would have those big sets where they would run him, they would play with a bigger offensive line and just have Lee Smith involved. But come on, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Ian Thomas.
Yeah, this isn't close.
I think it's the best tight end group in football right now.
It's one of them.
I don't know who's better.
You might be right, bro. You might be right.
I can't think of it right now. Michael Rivera's sister passed away, guys. Show some respect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's an RP.
But one guy was, some guy was, that was sad. It was a sad story.
I mean, yeah, she's saving her kids, right? What happened? What did happen to Rivera, though? I mean, Rivera wasn't that bad. He just couldn't block.
He was total. I think he was probably a little ahead of his time. Like, I think if he was drafted a little bit later when analytics became a big thing, and I think if he was drafted about 3 or 4 years later, I think somebody would have found a way to use him a little bit better. But I liked him. He's a good red zone guy.
Yeah. This one's easy. I
mean, it's probably the easiest one.
It's probably the easiest one.
Even if they had nothing, even if Michael Mayer wasn't there, it's Bowers. Yeah. Bowers is destroying that whole group. I was a little hyped about Clive Walford, though.
All right, so let's get to defense. Defensive line. This was a little.
That's a tough one.
This was interesting. It is very interesting.
It's a tough one because the 2016 one, they didn't use it right. That's the problem, right? So,
yeah, that's a good point.
That's the problem with this. So I'm going to read it to anybody who's not looking at the screen right now. The 2016 defensive line was Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, Mario Edwards Jr., Justin Ellis, and Danico Autry. And versus the 2025 line, which is Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, Christian Wilkins, we think, Adam Butler, Tyree Wilson. That 2016 defensive line should have been a lot better than it was because Danico Autry is a beast. He's still playing, or goes Mario Edwards Jr. Danico Autry could not see the field somehow. I remember they also at this time they have Lorenzo Alexander too.
I left Jihad Ward off here, who's still playing.
And I thought Lorenzo Alexander had a 10-sack season the minute after he left the Raiders for the Bills. They had guys on that line, and Ken Norton Jr. sucked ass. And same with Del Rio was just you hear about Del Rio, he was like golfing the minute he could get out of the office.
9 to 5.
The ball was not life to
9 to 5 Del Rio.
Yeah, exactly. He treated it like he was working at an Amazon warehouse. He was like putting in for time off. He's like, "Hey, can I get this day off?" And they're like, "The day off?" He's like, "Yeah, can I I was just trying to take my wife out. She's been bothering me. What do you take the day off?
You guys ain't got a sick time? What about sick time?"
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. But that 2016 defensive line is nasty if you used it right.
Bro, like when I put this together, I was thinking about that. I was like, Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, Mario Edwards, Justin Ellis, and Danico Autry.
And Lorenzo Alexander.
On the same line.
And Lorenzo Alexander. Like, these are guys that, like I said, Mario Edwards Jr. starts for better teams than the Raiders.
Yeah.
Jihad Ward was not starting, but he wasn't even not a part of the I forget what team he was on last year. Was it Colts last year? But he's been on like Eagles teams that are good.
He's on the Vikings
last year. Good teams. These guys play on good teams still. Oh gosh. Mac had the season of a lifetime. I mean, he did. He was unreal that year. Unreal. Won games by himself. The Panthers and Bills games, he won them.
Yeah,
he won those games. Closer Mariano Rivera. When he sacked Tyrod Taylor and the ball fell on top of him into his lap, that was crazy. Cam Newton pick six is the best player I've ever seen the Raiders make in my lifetime. Cam Newton pick six by Khalil Mack.
Yeah,
it was unreal. So I'll ask you this: with Max Crosby, I think can end up being better than Khalil Mack, in my opinion. But Khalil Mack had that crazy like big play ability that I still need to see out of Max Crosby, where like, I need the ball right now, Max. Can you go get me the ball right now? Khalil Mack could go get you the ball. It was weird. He could do it. He just found a way to go get you the ball. And I don't know if it's not Max's fault, I don't think, at all, because he's really had to deal with double teams constantly getting chipped and all these things. Mac did too.
Yeah.
It's like Max, that's the last thing I need to see out of Max is like, I need the signature play. I need the signature strip sack play.
Because what pisses me off about Mac the most is like him and Crosby could have still drafted Crosby no matter what.
For sure. Yeah, exactly. That was fake. The whole like Mac and Crosby thing. They could have played together.
Yeah. It bothers the hell out of me sometimes when I just think about it. Because honestly, Max Crosby's a 4th round pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Raiders could have got him regardless. And he played with Khalil Mack, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I looked up who because somebody asked who was just so the DJ asked who was the Raiders D-line coach in 2016. Was it Frank Oakham? Who the hell is that?
Yeah, well, you answered it there. No, I can't. He can't be.
It was Frank Oakham.
Is he still alive? I don't know. This is more time. I mean, like, what? That sounds like an old ass football coach.
Yeah, he's a football coach at University of Toledo right now.
Nice, go Rockets.
He's he's a defense. Yeah, he's defensive line coach at Toledo.
Sick. How's their D line right now?
I don't.
They probably have a bunch of good players and none of them are getting sacks.
Because honestly, like I remember I was putting this together. Like all these guys were good after the Raiders too. It was like, like even Jelly was good with the Ravens.
Yeah. No, that's what I mean. This is a good defense. I'll even say that's a great defense. Bruce Irvin is the worst player on that defensive line, probably.
It's crazy. That's crazy. They didn't like dominate. You know what I mean? Like
take over the game, like where it's like not even Khalil Mack. It's like, oh, here's the game where Danico Autry has 2 sacks and you can't run the ball. But Danico Autry never could seem to get on the field. I'm like, how do you not find a way to play this guy?
Jack fucking Del Rio, man. I'm telling you, Del Rio sucked.
Yeah, he really did.
Because you even got to think about it when remember when John Pagano took over the end of the year and like Derek Carr was playing absolutely terrible, of course, on offense, and they had Todd Downing, but they were playing pretty damn good on defense, and they're actually getting a lot of sacks. Remember, Pagano took over from Norton in the end of the year, like they got, I think they had like a whole bunch of sacks in 2017.
Right.
You remember that shit? And they had all these guys playing. It was these guys, and they were getting a whole bunch of sacks. All they did was change to Pagano, and they were just balling.
I know. Gosh.
Like looking at this shit pissed me off a little bit.
It's better. It's literally better than the one right now.
It is.
Yeah.
But the other one probably got more sacks last year, which is
for
sick.
For sure.
Because imagine Patrick Graham with the 2016.
Exactly. I mean, the coaching staff it's a landslide victory right now. But yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so let's get to linebacker. Maybe Shook is saying the middle linebacker 2016 sucked. So we're about to get there though. We're getting the middle linebacker here. Let me get this pulled up. Linebacker. All right, linebacker. Hold on. Let me change this picture here before I get this. I have a different one. There you go. Linebacker. I posted this on Twitter. I didn't get any engagement because I probably was like, people were just depressed looking at this.
That's bad, dude. It looks like a cut list from a team. That looks like where it's like we released the following players. No, I'm not even going to be mean to Landon Roberts like that. He's a good player, but at what he does. But they literally does. I remember being hyped about Malcolm Smith. Yeah. Because he had that big Super Bowl, which is a classic Raiders move. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl MVP to being a bad Raiders linebacker or bad Raiders player. Ben Heaney out of Kansas. I remember him.
Ben Heaney, bro.
People got really hyped about him on Silver and Black Pride, which I read a lot around that time. People were getting hyped about Ben Heaney for sure. Harry Riley, he was. And then Corey James, I think, was out of Colorado State. He was like a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
I'll take the guys now. For sure. Like this is an awful linebacking core in 2016.
Yeah, to be honest, I take the guys now too. Because I remember Ben Heaney was terrible.
Terrible.
He could not tackle a soul.
He was bad, and he seemed undersized too. I don't know if he was, but he just looked small. And I remember hearing this hype about this guy. They're like, dude, this guy at Kansas, like this is a steal of the draft. And no, sure wasn't.
Yeah, Ben Heaney was god awful. I remember because they had to go get Perry Riley late in the season.
Yeah. Perry Riley was the best player of that group for sure.
Yeah, they didn't give to like week 10.
Because in 2017 was Navarro Bowman, right?
Yeah.
It was like the guy they brought in where it was like, oh, competent football player. Whoa. Yeah. Terrible. Yeah. I mean, I'll take 2025. I hate that group straight up. Like, I don't like it. But I'll take it. Because I think they can stop that line. Okay, they'll stop the run with the 2025 linebacker core. I don't think they could stop the run with the 2016 one.
Because the thing is, like, what if Eichenberg's good or Gainer's good?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Again, we have the what if factor.
With 2025.
Yeah, there is much more of a what if because we know what wasn't.
for real, man. Those guys were awful. All right, cornerback is next.
This is a bad room too, dude.
Cornerback.
Oh, talking about one of the worst free agent signings ever. Gosh, 2016, David Amerson, Sean Smith, TJ Carey, and DJ Hayden. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, DJ Hayden. Who I to be honest, he was definitely not worth the pick that they got him at, but he stayed in the league a lot longer than the Raiders, than his Raiders contract. I'll say, gosh, I remember being hyped because David Amerson had this really sick pick six on Alex Smith the year before, where he walked into the end zone because they'd picked him up on waivers off of Washington the year before. Man. Sean Smith was a huge bust. I remember he gave up a 99-yard touchdown or 98-yard touchdown.
The Cooks, right? Cooks.
He got cooked by Brandon Cooks. TJ Carey, I always thought was a solid player.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Solid player, but that's a bad DB room. I'll take the guys now for sure. Eric Stokes, Jacorian Bennett, Darian Parr. There's athleticism there that the 2016 group doesn't have.
I remember being so hyped about Emerson going in 2016.
Sure, yeah.
Because he had the end of the year 2015, like he was a great corner.
Remember when he hit Geno Smith? He freaking folded Geno Smith like a card table. Against the Jets, he helicoptered him in the air. It was awesome.
Yeah. I was so disappointed with Emerson in 2016 because I literally thought that the Raiders had a legit corner outside.
Yeah.
He was ass.
He was fast. Ass, he was like a fast corner. Like,
he's got great ball skills. Right?
Yeah. He went to NC State, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he had a whole bunch of picks at NC State too.
Yeah.
Sean Smith sucked.
Terrible. Literally terrible. Remember, he used to go on Twitter getting all mad. Why are you saying I'll suck? He would always be doing it because you suck.
Because you're slow and tall.
Yeah, because you suck, and you were on the Chiefs, and you were kind of good. Ugh. Terrible.
TJ Carey was solid.
The thing is, they started the wrong guys. I think TJ Carey and DJ Hayden are better than David Anderson and Sean Smith. It's another thing where I'm not saying that's a lockdown group between TJ Carey and DJ Hayden, but TJ and DJ were literally better players than those other two guys.
Yeah. Because I think the 2025 group too. Because like I said, it's all about upside. Because Jacorian Bennett has better upside than some of these other guys. Mm-hmm. Darian Porter definitely does. See, that's my thing when I put this together. Like, how the hell did this team win 12 games? We should have saw that 2017.
But no, you said it earlier. They had a lot of turnovers on defense.
Yeah,
they had a lot of the ball bounced the right way a lot. I remember still my favorite Derek Carr game, probably of all time, is at Ravens that year when they're down in and he hits Crabtree for I think either 2 or 3 touchdowns. Beautiful throw to the back of the end zone, toe tap to Michael Crabtree. Like that was you're like their point differential couldn't have been very high in this game. Like their point differential was probably really tight. Like they probably, if you were analytically looking, you're like, this team might not win a lot of playoff games because they're winning every game hero ball essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. David Ochoa, he's already ahead of us. That is what's coming next.
Big Reg, a lot of interceptions.
That's what's coming next. The safeties.
That's the other reason why they won a bunch of games. He had a shit ton of interceptions, Reggie Nelson, and he was terrible.
He had like 5 that year or something like that. Right?
And they were like game sealers too, like a few of them. Yeah. God, Carl Joseph, what might have been. I didn't hate that pick when it happened either. I thought he was a good pick. I thought he was a good pick. He was the first rounder that year, right?
Yeah, 2014. 2016,
2016, the first rounder that year.
Yeah.
So I was like pretty hyped about him. And he wasn't bad for the Raiders. He just wasn't. It was a classic Reggie McKenzie pick where you just got like a solid player in the first round, solid to okay, but your whole fan base thought he was going to be Ed Reed. I'll take the guys now. But the guys now need to get turnovers. That's the thing. Is Reggie Nelson turned the ball over, but you're talking about Reggie Nelson, Nate Allen, and Carl Joseph. That's not that good of a safety.
That's disgusting. If you look at it.
Jeremy Chin, pull him out, and Harper. Jeremy Chin had a damn good year last year for Washington. So
like how did they win 12 games? It makes no sense.
The ball bounced. Well, the division sucked. You have to remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
The division was ass. First year without Peyton in the Broncos. Chiefs don't have Mahomes yet. Chargers are at the end of Phillip Rivers. It was the right time. And they still didn't win the damn division, by the way. They still didn't win the division.
It just doesn't make any sense. But I put this roster together. And you think about it, when I put this roster together, we should have seen 2017 coming.
No, absolutely.
When you look at this roster, 2017 should have just popped up. Like we shouldn't have been surprised by it. When I look back at it and I was putting this together.
Right. No, I'm with you.
All right, so I got one more. I went special teams here. Here we go. Sebastian Janikowski, Marquette King, Daniel Carlson, AJ Cole.
I'll take the guys now for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take the guys now. I kind of last episode talked about Seabass.
Yeah.
I'm a Seabass truther. I don't think he was that good. Marquette King was funny. He had a great year that year for sure. He's great that year. But man, he flamed out fast. AJ Cole's great, man. AJ Cole's great, and I think Carlson's got a number switch this year. We'll have to start charting Carlson. I think he had kind of a sneaky down year for the Raiders last year for his standards.
Yeah,
but he switched to number 8 now, I think. So it'll be interesting.
Okay.
It'll be interesting because he sold his number to Ashton Genty.
Yeah. TJ Elsa, this is a tie. He's going to tie here.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's close, but I think
close.
I think Carlson made a kick to send the Raiders to the playoffs. One thing Seabass has never done.
Yeah.
Right? Or did he? Maybe he did make the kick against the Chargers. He didn't make it like a game winner against the Chargers, did he? To send us to the playoffs that year.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because he won 1916.
Okay. Well, give him that. Yeah, I'll give him that. Both against the Chargers.
Was this the mark kick throwing the flag here?
Might have been. Yeah, I was sick of him real fast. Remember, he used to be on Twitter like, y'all still need me. Like, no, we don't, dude. Relax.
Yeah. This was tough for me because I'm a Seabass guy, right? And and I think Daniel Carlson had a big 2021. Like 2021, he was amazing, right? And he's half of the reason why they made the playoffs. So, yeah, it was. So it's hard for me on that one. Mm-hmm. But I don't since 2021 he's been good. But 2021 he was like lights out. Right. But like it's tough for me to say he's better than Janikowski. It is. But I think Cole is way better than Marquette King. So I'll go 2025 just because of AJ Cole.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. I think Cole's better than King. I think Carlson's marginally better than Janikowski.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys enjoyed that, but we got our last voicemail from.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. I mean, what do you like more, 2016,
2016 and 20? Who wins the game? Who wins the game? 2015.
Who would you rather go to war with? What is your favorite position group? Things like that. It's nice to see the fans arguing in the comments. I do check. It's fun.
Yeah. All right, let's get to our longest voicemail here with Baby Shark here.
Want to tell you guys once again, you guys are the best out there, the best Raider content creators. Your tape breakdown is superb. There's no one out there like you guys. And Marcus, I got to give you a big shout out for gathering two white boys together, two white boy Raider fans. Yeah. I've never seen two white boy Raider fans in the same room, so I don't know how you did it, but
they said it couldn't happen.
They said it couldn't happen.
Did it. Two white boy Raider fans on the same podcast. Damn,
it's true.
Well,
good stuff, Marcus.
I want to talk a little bit about the past before we start talking about the present and the future. So I got to get some stuff off my chest, and I want to educate some of the Raider fans out there on why the Las Vegas Raiders passed on drafting Jalen Carter in 2023. Now, the reason why they passed on Jalen Carter was due to Jalen Carter committing the same type of crime that Henry Ruggs committed 2 years prior. Now, had the Raider organization drafted Jalen Carter, the locals in Vegas would be in an uproar for them drafting the same type of dude that committed the same type of crime. So a lot of Raider fans are upset that we passed on him, and instead we went with Tyree, knock-knee, Wilson. Now that's what hurt me the most. You see, I look at things so deep that I noticed when he walked out on that podium on draft night that he had knock-knee syndrome.
He did.
I said, what the hell are they doing drafting a player with knock-knee syndrome? That don't allow a player to have any speed to keep up with the game. I never seen a person with knock-knee become a Pro Bowler. You know what I'm saying? I never seen a person with knock-knee become an All-Pro. Now, that's what really matters is All-Pro, right?
Yeah.
Never seen a player with knock-knee become one. So I don't know what the hell the Raiders are thinking then. And I just want to bring that up to you guys. I know it's a thing of the past, and I'm on Tyree Wilson's ass until he gets fired or laid off or whatever. Traded, cut, something. But that's why we passed on Jalen Carter. What?
It's too long. The voicemail was like,
damn.
Like,
I love laid off, by the way. That's the funniest shit I've ever, like, really, no joke. That's some of the funniest shit I've ever. They're like, hey, Tyree, we love you. Your position doesn't exist anymore. We're downsizing.
yeah.
Oh, you guys don't need any more defensive ends? Yeah, we don't need them anymore. Yeah.
I'm not bored, baby sugar. I'm trying not to laugh at your
I love that. That was great. No, first off, a couple things. Baby Shug, we need to get him a Twitter account. Like, you remember the old Twitter doctor, Dr. David Chow?
Yeah.
To break down the injuries while they happen. Baby Shug needs to go draft podium press conference and be like, what's up with that guy's shoulder? You know, I don't like that shoulder. Bust. Yeah, I love that. He's kind of right about the Jalen Carter thing. My thing is just do it.
Yeah.
Just draft the guy. If he gets in another car accident, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you got to start thinking now, because the Eagles, that's how the Eagles view it.
Yeah, so guess what? We suddenly got another Raiders content have the ability to leave us voicemails. Oh, okay. I mean, there's a lot more film guys. I've seen some film guys pop up.
Hey, man, a lot of people started rapping after Rakim.
I know, right? Friday night feature. So
that's the way it works. I will say we left one position group out of the 20 coaching, and I think 2025 coaching.
Oh yeah,
superior. Ken Norton Jr. ass. Bill Musgrave was good. Jack Del Rio ass. Chip Kelly, Patrick Graham, and Pete Carroll, a lot better. Rob Leonard, I wish Rod Leonard was the D-line coach in 2016. My lord.
Yeah, I was. Who's Frank? I was like, Frank Oak. Like, how the hell did he not? How the Raiders did not have the best defense in the league with that defensive? Like, if you just think about it. Like, Danico Autry went to the Titans and balled.
Colts too. He was really good on the Colts too.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I got some bars, bro. Baby shake. I got some bars. Man.
Seriously,
I got some bars, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people who paid, Baby Shug. Shout out that. Any last thoughts, Glenn?
No. This is great. I like doing stuff like this. Just gets Raider fans talking. A lot of names from the past here. That's what June Raider football is all about.
Yeah. My boy Cowtown. He said he's calling knock-knee Tyree from I am doing the ALPA QB rankings. That's why I was watching Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I'm going in order. I'm trying to get these guys done. I'm gonna get them done, but by the time we get to the year, so I'm gonna get them done. But I'm going through it. I'm getting it done. All right, guys, we are out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Right. And then check out. I got Ashton Genty versus Penn State. I just posted that. I'm gonna get some member stuff here. I'm gonna get my grind on because I need you guys to join members because NFL is starting to hate at this point with Baldy. I don't know if it's gonna happen later on, but Baldy is he likes to take over film for some reason. I don't know. Whatever, Baldy, do your thing. That's fine. So I'm gonna be pumping out some more member shit here. I'm going to be doing Geno Smith versus the Cardinals here a couple of days, and then JJ Puigs. I'm trying to pump these out. So check that out. And then check out the other breakdowns we got. And then tomorrow we're doing Trey Tucker. And I don't know who's Matt's doing, but I'm doing Trey Tucker. I know that.
Nice.
All right. So check that out. Any last thoughts, Glenn, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. Ready for mini camp, whatever that means.
Well, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Hit the subscribe button, guys. We're out of here. Peace.